Kush. And before I begin, I must tell you that when good people of Future Event reached out to me, the question that I had for them is why would a gathering in August, gathering on collections and recovery, want to hear from a customer experience professional who hasn't even spent an afternoon working on either collection or recovery or anywhere near it. And they told me that while I am correct technically, but the need for experience and understanding customer connect is felt very strongly in this community, and they already do a lot of it. And I took a leap of faith, and I thought I'll speak with you guys, share what our approach is towards this. As I sat through sessions that have happened since morning, I understood that they could not be more correct. There hasn't been any session where customer connect, customer experience, how do we improve the entire journey, have not been spoken about. And all of this have always had a tech angle. So I think that pretty much summarizes why what I have to share with you in the next 15-20 minutes may be useful. If it is not, then we can always connect and explore how to make that even more beneficial to you, perhaps when we meet next time. Yeah. All right. So let me quickly share with you who we are and what do we represent. Rally is a global mobility services company. We operate primarily out of US, which is our largest market, and then we're also present in Canada, Germany, and other countries. We provide a digital-first bus services to our customers, to modern customers who would like to do away with the hassle of traffic, parking, rules, and regulations when they have to get to a spot. We've seen how companies like Ola, Uber, Lyft, etc. have solved the short distance commute very well and have disrupted the market completely. We are not a first mile or a last mile provider, we are the middle mile provider. So we focus on 40 to 400 miles of distances, and we do that by creating a marketplace where we have bus operators on one side and consumers on the other, and our technology platform basically brings the two of them together to create what is most efficient, very customer friendly, and of course ecologically sensible solution to mobility problem that exists globally. We are a globally responsible organization. As you would imagine, one regular sized bus actually replaces about 24 cars on the road. So by means of that, we are doing our planet the service that we should all do, and we're very proud of that. Our ESG investors love it, our customers love it, and we are happy to march ahead on this role. We have two prime products. One is called Rally, the other one is Ourbus. Rally is focused around taking people in a very innovative and one of its own product kind, which is called sharing the bus ride, where people go to concerts, music festivals, sports gathering, which is very popular in the US. And then the second line of business is lines, where we get people region travel from point A to point B. How we are different is that because we work out extensively on data and everything is customized, we are able to crowdsource bus stops, right? And then we are able to intelligently link it with local community, local businesses, so that people arrive at a place where they can find things of interest, and they also get to board from a place of convenience, right? So coming back to the customer experience approach that I want to share with you, we do not have a product, nor do we have a booth outside. This is just a thought exercise. The idea is to share with you how we approach customer experience, and perhaps you can take a leaf or two out of this and implement in your respective businesses. Right? I mean, all through the morning we have, pardon me for the scaling issue, which is why you see some of the text superimposed on the other. It wasn't originally designed that way.
What we're trying to say here is that the entire landscape of service, now whether it is in the fields of lending, collection, travel, e-commerce, any industry we go to, we see that there's a marked change from low value, transaction based, labor arbitrage, and people intensive effort to businesses are now moving to more consultative, high margin and acumen intensive, and all of that is of course being done with a very large intervention of technology. You know, as we see the tech world, especially on the conversation side, the cognitive side, has grown by leaps and bounds. Nobody in this room, nobody on the planet Earth is not talking about what generative AI, what open AI, what chat GPT, etc. can do. So that's the extent to which technology is changing our life, right? This slide I'm trying to basically speak about how customer experience is not always best understood. So elements like sourcing, service execution, training, customer handling, grievance management, and service execution, these are stuff that most organizations do, whether they are leading customer experience companies or laggards in that sector. However, what it takes for a company to really lead the league is a lot of interest on things like service philosophy, AOP formulation, service org structure, background integration with other organizations, reprocessing, reporting analytics. How do you survey your customer? How do you basically stitch all of your experiences together? I often say that customer experience is a sum total of all moments of truth. Whenever a customer is thinking about your brand, getting in touch with your brand, or interacting with your brand in any way, form, or shape, that constitutes customer experience, right? There are 4 elements in our mind which we should focus on, and those are, interaction management. Now, interaction can happen in any context. It could happen in the context of debt collection, it could happen on context of capital reimbursement, it could happen on context of the vanilla query, request, complaint interaction, and their technologies that are mostly used is IVRS, ACD, bots, human support, of course. You have an inbound channel, you have an outbound channel, and the idea is that how do you ensure that you create a framework where you not only address all of these important elements but also find ways to keep checking with the customers if it is meeting their requirement. And whenever you find that it is not, you understand why it is not, and then tailor it to suit their needs. Right? Web and mobile, I can't speak more overemphasize on its importance. Everything is now moving digital. A large part of our economy world over is going to be now dominated by people who were digital first. Most of us in this room are pre-Google. We were born before Google. Internet happened in front of us, right? We have been witnessing mobile revolution. But that's not the case with next generation people, right? They were born on the internet, as it were. Right? So now the way they are going to interact with mobile, web, and interactive technology is going to be different. In the first discussion, we spoke about social media. Social media has become extremely important. It's important to listen, aggregate, and then respond to our customers based on that. And then there is the whole bit of customer relationship management, where it is about campaign management, marketing communication, reality, retention. So what I'm trying to basically say here is that when you say an efficient customer experience design, you're talking about front end, talking about back end, talking about communication, you're talking about resolution, you're talking about all of it. Right? Then how does one get there? There are 5 key things that one got to do. First is to integrate all customer touch points. Omni-channel is perhaps one word you're bored of hearing. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time there. What it says is, stitch everything together so the context is never lost. The history is always available for you to retrieve and talk to. Then operational efficiency, it's extremely important to build, and it can be done by ensuring that all repetitive, mundane tasks, fetch and tell, are done by a computer because they can do it better in a more efficient and more accurate manner. It is important to leverage service for sale. I think we must admit the elephant in the room that recovery and collection has a PR problem, right? None of us really want to be ever contacted by any form of human recovery. It's just hard, very, very hard. Most of those conversations are not nice, right? So how can we reimagine that? Because the customers who we are wanting to lend to or collect from are also customers that we want to sell more to, are also customers that we want to remain with us. So how do we understand the human element of it, understand their needs, and then serve for it, right? Which is basically leveraging service for future growth. Driving customer centricity even on aspects which are hard as collection, right? It is essentially a difficult conversation. The context is very hard. How do we ensure that we drive customer centricity there? So what I mean by that is, how can we equip people to understand why somebody would not pay or not pay regularly? How can you assist in making sure that they pay and become a co-pilot, as it were, in getting them to a place of better credit worthiness, and therefore they become customers to your other products, right? So technically what I was saying about, we're talking about joining customer and the customer, the service agent and the customer, how can we put them together? How can we use information, integrate solutions to make it more personalized, and most importantly, how can we leverage cross-functional and cross-platform synergies to get to the customer one solution, one unified solution that they are going to like, love, and come back to. We at Rally Ourbus ensure that customers are heard, listened when they're signing up, and at every stage of their customer journey, we keep listening to them, and we use that to create our products, to tailor our marketing communication, inform our sales strategies, and of course, the entire operations and back office is built on what the customer has to say. The aspect ratio has played not nice with the way this had to look, but I hope you catch my drift. Right. So that is the short, point that I wanted to share with you. The broad principle is that even in context of collection and recovery, it is important to bring in the element of customer experience. It is important to bring in technology. It is important to bring in connection, because somebody who is a bad customer by definition today could improve and become a great customer tomorrow if you give the person a reason to be that, right? Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to me. If you have a question, I'll be very happy to take it, or we'll call it a wrap.
Where do you stand in terms of growth compared to your other markets in India, okay, compared to other markets outside of India? And if it is not, not matching up to that level, then what are the challenges that you see?
There cannot be one answer to that question. It's a very layered question. I would say that Indian market is way ahead when it comes to digital payments, for example. We are leading the pack. In fact, we left China behind only last quarter, right? In digital adoption, the Indian market is leaps and bounds ahead of the Western world. I think where the Western world and the Eastern world sort of make a departure from one another is their ability to buy and consume. So you technically see that high-income countries are not trust deficient, right? And low-income markets are basically trust-deficient markets, right? Where everybody is on the lookout to find a loophole, and how do you make sure that you get better of someone without paying that additional cost. So I think that jugglery aside, and if you were to basically look at it from three angles. One is what is the buying capability, what is the per capita income, and what is the availability of service. Now if you put on these two axes, most countries will basically form a cluster.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you very much.